A BMJ study analyzing 262 clinical trials involving nearly 1 lakh patients found that while GLP-1 medicines have transformed obesity treatment, no single drug came out on top across every parameter, from weight loss and heart health to kidney protection, side effects and quality of life. All of them, behave differently. When it comes to shedding kilos, the Tirzepatide emerged as the strongest performer, helping patients lose nearly 15% of their body weight in a year, but the researchers say weight loss also came with a bigger compromises, including greater lean muscle loss, higher rate of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, more patients stopping treatment early. The study found Semaglutide stood out where it matters most, protecting the heart. It showed the strongest evidence for reducing the risk of heart attacks, lowering overall mortality and slowing kidney disease progression. However, experts caution that many newer obesity drugs are yet to complete long-term cardiovascular outcome trials. The takeaway from the study is simple. Choosing an obesity drug is not just about losing the most weight. Doctors say treatment should be personalized, taking into account a patient's BMI, diabetes status, heart and kidney health, side effects, affordability, and long-term goal. In obesity care, the best medicine is the one that fits the patient and not the rankings. So let's get into the study. What are these obesity drugs? What is this study telling us? I'm joined by Dr. Amitabh Parthi, Internal Medicine, Fortis Memorial Research Institute, Gurgaon. And I'm also joined by Dr. Neeraj Kumar, Senior Consultant, General Medicine, Sharda Care Health City. I thank both of you, but let me straight away go to Dr. Amitabh Parthi. Sir, different results, different drugs. What's the big picture, sir, that is emerging from the analysis that has come out?
So at present, we have another issue with this. Apart from what the Western world thinks, we have to think of the Asian population, where we think of the lean fat Indian. We say we are sarcopenic obese, that means we have less muscle and more fat. So we need to address both. So our first situation is we want to lose fat and preserve the muscle. That is the first part. The second one is what sort of protection that we can offer to an obese patient. So a lot of customization will need to be done in due course in order that we can look at patients who do not have a risk of heart disease and those who are looking only at weight loss. So we look at two different varieties of drugs, one which would look only at the weight and look at protection in due course, or those who already have a risk which is associated with weight, and we need to address them as well and look at them with a perspective of the the percentage of Indian individuals who have more of truncal obesity, less muscle and more of fat. So we look at different drugs in different perspectives. A drug like Mounjaro or Tirzepatide is very effective, typical in younger individuals or individuals who could exercise, where probably weight and diabetes are the only indications for that weight loss. Whereas individuals who are slightly more elderly or probably who have a high risk for cardiovascular disease, renal disease, probably in those situations, we would prefer a drug like Semaglutide. So customization of the molecule, depending upon the individual, sustaining the dose, preserving the muscle, and then taking the patient through the journey from fat to fit is what would be vital in the Indian setting.
Okay, let me go across to Dr. Neeraj Kumar. So, what is the big picture? What is the message? A lot of people are rushing for a quick weight loss. They think it as a nirvana, thinking that nothing has worked on them. At least these drugs will work. But these drugs are showing very different results. Nothing is 100%.
No, we are searching for anti-obesity drugs since 1999. We got orlistat, lipase inhibitor. After that, we got many things. We have everything in our pocket right now. But we have to think about few facts like diabetic versus non-diabetic, patient with other conditions. Can we replace normal physical activities with these drugs? Can we replace balanced diet with these drugs? Everything needs to be in consideration. And what about our developing economy? We have to think about cost benefit also. That is also important. Till now, I have many patients like this, but I'm not able to tell them how long they should continue it, the duration, when they can replace it with physical activity. There are so many things to be answered right now. But yes, these medications are big hope for many population. They have very good results. they have very good cardiac mortality. And
Okay. But Dr. Amitabh, there are a lot of concerns which people have. Do they have long-term impact on important organs like heart, kidney, liver? Can these drugs impact them, sir?
Fortunately, it is the other way around. These are, we say CKM, they are cardioprotective, renal protective, and they are metabolic regulating agents. So they would improve cardiac functions, prevent cardiac events, improve kidney functions, improve the kidney function rates. They will in fact regress the fatty liver and produce improvement in the metabolic correction. So those individuals who are suffering from in fact sleep apneas or those with PCOS or such individuals will also be benefiting. So it produces nearly a comprehensive holistic correction of the metabolism. Not only weight is an issue, but for these individuals, the other comorbid conditions that the obesity is driving, all of them will get corrected. So, in fact, the drug is as safe as you can continue using the drug even if the GFR, the kidney function rate, drops to about 25%. The drug is safe for individuals who move from normal liver to fatty liver, even up to the level of cirrhotic livers. You can go on using the drug
So,
until the time
Dr.
the patient
Mamata,
decompensates.
how do you divide this classification of drugs? Who should take which drug? You know, I have a lot of friends, they said, okay, this drug didn't work, we shifted to Mounjaro. How do people decide that? How do doctors prescribe that, sir?
See, the classification of both the drugs, first of all, the molecules are different. They're not similar. Mounjaro contains two molecules. It contains GLP, glucagon-like peptide, with GIP. It contains two molecules. Semaglutide or the Ozempic contains only the GLP-1. Now, GLP and GIP combination, Mounjaro, has nearly a 30% higher weight losing propensity and probably maybe a higher HbA1c losing propensity than semaglutide. So if we look head on between Mounjaro and Ozempic, probably the weight loss is 30% higher with Mounjaro. But what is important is not the weight loss alone. Sustaining the drug on the patient, tolerance of the drug, preserving the muscle mass, and maintaining the nutritional status of the individual is very important to look at the quality of life that you're offering to the patient. So maintaining the drug at a particular dose escalation is warranted. We would not administer an escalated dose if we find the patient not tolerating it, or he's going into nutritional compromise, or he's having too much of a gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, so on and so forth. So initiating the drug is one story. Maintaining a dose, sustaining the drug, tolerance of the drug, and preserving the muscle. Very, very important for all who are using GLP, GIP is preserving the muscle mass. We have to understand there is a protein requirement that the individual requires. There is an encouragement of resistance training. We have to encourage, once there is a weight loss, it's not only fat that is lost. Out of all the fat that is lost, there is a 10% muscle that is going to get lost. So unfortunately, there has to be a contribution. These are all adjuncts, add-ons to lifestyle modifications. So we must understand you have to add on this to a lifestyle correction.
Okay.